Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. On my channel, I do planner and planner related videos, and every once and again, I'll also feature some items that I'll be listing in my Etsy shop. And if that's something you are interested in, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that little notification bell so that you're always notified when I do upload a new video. Now, I will be talking about some mini happy planner journals that I did do, as well as doing a tutorial on how to do one without a laminator. But last night I was feeling very crafty. So here are some of the ones that I've put together so far. They aren't fully completed, and I will be listing them in my shop when I have completed them, but I did want to show you some of them. And we'll actually work this way. All of these covers were made with file folders, and hopefully there's not too much of a glare. And I did have some mini rings in my stash, and so as of right now, this is just holding this because I didn't have anywhere else to put it, but eventually this one will look like all of the others. And then it is made with a 5mm laminate. And I apologize for my voice. I have a cold, and yeah, just dealing with that. And then this again, made with a file folder. And just to make it a little bit more personalized, I did add some stickers from various Happy Planner sticker books. I believe this is one from the Memory Keeper or Planning. And again, because I didn't have enough discs of the dark pink, I thought the pink and the yellow looked actually kind of nice. This one is complete-ish. There's still some things I need to do for it, but the guts of it is pretty much done. Again, a file folder that I laminated with 5mm laminate and some dark gold discs that I had on stash. And then the first part of this is just one of these paper filler sets that I picked up from Amazon, and it actually has both lined and graph paper. And I split it up so that the graph and the lined paper are interdispersed. So you got some lined, some graph, back to some lined, and then back to some graph. I made this little page marker here. It's just a clear page marker. Again, hopefully the glare is not too bad. And at the end of these, I did actually cut down some coloring pages that I had, again, in my stash, because I'm thinking of these as sort of a journal slash self-care journal. And I know that coloring pages can be very therapeutic. So this is one that, again, eventually will be going into my Etsy shop. I thought this would be a great teacher gift. It's fun colors. I do have a teacher sticker book, so I thought this would make a great gift, again, for self-care, wellness, de-stressing, and the components are the same, but it's just the coloring pages are in the front with the lined and graph pages in the back. But the one that I've actually nearly completed is this one, where I did do some, it's exactly the same as the others, but I did on various pages just add stickers or little boxes, sort of like the journaling book that I've seen a few people do some flip throughs through. And again, I do want to do a little bit more in here, and all of them will be different because I don't have duplicates of these stickers, but I will try to make them coordinate with the actual theme. And again, it is interspersed between graph and lined paper. And in the back, I have a little page marker that I've made, and then some coloring pages. And I will do a more comprehensive flip through when I have finished them. I'm thinking about either adding a folder or some dividers. So once that's complete and ready to be put into my Etsy shop, then I will do a flip through. But because I live in Hawaii, I can't actually source those little Happy Planner journals here anywhere locally. And anywhere that I were to purchase online, I would actually need to not only pay for shipping, but also pay for shipping to Hawaii. So my shipping costs can be anywhere as upwards of $20 to $30, depending on what site I'm on. And that's just not something I'm willing to do. So I will be doing a tutorial on how to make one of these. Now, if you don't have a laminator, or if you have a laminator but you don't have the 5mm, you can still make one of these. And actually the one that I'll be doing for you today is actually more on the budget side. If you just want one of these that you don't necessarily need to take with you on the go and doesn't need to be super durable, you can make a journal like this, but have it on the budget. So no laminator required, and fairly inexpensive and easily to source. Now this will be durable because it is a file folder, so it's already heavier, plus it's a 5mm laminate, so it's not as rigid as a regular Happy Planner cover is, but it is fairly close, and as close as I can do without bumping up my laminator and to the 10mm laminator size, because that's kind of expensive and requires a completely different laminator machine. So I'm going to put these to the side, and what you will need is a file folder. Now I've got this cute one that I picked up from Target, and I believe it was a pack of 12 for some ombre ones like this for like $2.99, and I did pick up some others for like $5.99. Sometimes in their dollar spot you can also find file folders that are like the $1 or the $3, but again, whatever file folder you have. I do recommend one of these that's kind of coated. If you pick up the manila laminator, or no, the manila file folder, those aren't as durable as one of these that do have a little bit of a protective covering on it. So just keep that in mind. You will need some packing tape because that's how we're going to give it a little bit more protection. And if you have it, I will be using this just because it's going to be a lot faster, but you can also do this with a single hole punch. I am also going to be using my cutter and probably one of my Happy Planner sticker books just to zhuzh it up a little on the cover. And I will put the measurements down below for the cover because really it's only the cover, and then I'll also give you the measurements for the coloring page if you wanted to cut some coloring books down for your Happy Planner. So to make the two-sided cover, you actually only need one side of your file folder. So I'm going to cut it down, and hopefully this is in frame, so that I get rid of the fold. And then I'll cut it so I get rid of the tab, and then that will give me more of a space to play with when I'm actually doing my measurements. Now, to get two file folders from this cover, you will need to cut, so like for this pattern, my covers are going to be two side by side. If the pattern of your file folder is directional and the direction goes this way for your cover, then you'll only be able obviously to get one because it's just not, the dimension's not big enough to get two out of this. But if your paper isn't directional, or if the direction doesn't matter, then you can get two from the one side. So for the one that is laminated, the size is 7 1/4 by 5. But if you are not laminating, like I'm not going to laminate this, then you're going to want to give a little bit of extra because the laminate actually gives a little bit of a border around, and because we won't have that border, we'll just want to give a little bit more just to make this a little bit bigger than the paper. No, so we want this to be at 5. Actually, no, for the non-laminated one, this should be 5 1/4, but tutorial purposes, it still will work. So this one will actually make the correct size. So that is 5.5 is there, so 1/4 is the next long line. So 5.25 should be the dimension, and again, I will put them in the description box below. And then for the height of it, we want it to be 7.5, because again, this will not have that laminated border, so we want it just slightly bigger than our Happy Planner sheets. So we've got our 2 sides, and I don't think we'll need our paper cutter. And if you can see, the one that I didn't cut correctly is just slightly smaller. It would still work, it just wouldn't have as much overhang. And if you are looking at making dividers, then yeah, you'd have to be really careful about how big your dividers were in order to compensate for overhang. Again, you don't need a corner rounder, but I think it just looks a little bit more polished. And so I am corner rounding it on the 1/4 inch side. And the sorry guys, the Happy Planner paper is not rounded. It is actually a straight edge, but for anything that I'm making, either covers or dashboards, because I do laminate it, I will always round the corners, just because it is sharp and it can poke you. And let me decide. I think I like the blue, although I guess it depends on the sticker. So this one, I think I'll go with the teacher book that I have. Let's see if we can find a sticker. I like this one. And yeah, I like it better here. And again with the glare, because it is foiled, it says first I drink the coffee and then I teach the things. So I think that's really cute. Now, because I am not going to be laminating this and we're trying to do a budget version of this journal, like I said, I will be using clear packing tape. So I'm actually going to do this in fast forward mode because it's loud, and then I'll bring you back and then we'll go from there. Guys, so if I were making this for real, and I mean I'm making this for real, but if I were making this not for camera, I would have taken a little bit more time with it, as well as brought it closer to me so that I could actually line the paper up better. But I'm trying to film this as a tutorial, so yeah. And if you are going to tape it down to a surface, just make sure it can come up from that surface without ripping anything. Like that. Oh, goodness. All right, well, we're gonna keep moving forward. Now, I do have a craft mat underneath this, and that actually would be ideal. But it doesn't show as nicely on camera, so that's why we're going with the white foam board. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. Guys, I don't feel well, so please bear with me. I'm doing this, one, because I saw some flip-throughs from some ladies here on YouTube, but also I am participating in Tamika's Missmaker March, or Missmaker Mage. No, that's not right. Missmaker March Challenge, and I will put the hashtag on the screen when I'm doing the editing. And so this is the second week that I'm doing it, and I will be doing it all of March, as will she. And I thought it would be something that's great and timely, although from what I've seen on the Happy Planner website, this little journal thing is $9.99. So if you can source it, and I think you can even get it in Michael's or Joann's. Again, I can't be 100% sure because I don't have that store here. Then you might be able to utilize some of those coupons, and you won't get completely raked over the coals in shipping. But if you're like me and you will never be able to touch one of these things in a store, then make your own, because you've got all the things and you really don't have other choice unless you want to pay extra for shipping. And again, I'm just trying to make this as quickly as possible just to show you how it's done. Now, I did wrap it around, and again, if I were doing this for real and for my own purposes, I would have definitely done it on my craft mat, and I'd also cover this back page. But just for tutorial purpose, you can see that it is covered, and now it is semi-waterproof, although I mean, it is paper, so you don't want to just take this underwater or anything like that. So that's cute. Again, it's adorable cover. And then if you were using your paper punch, then you would just mark that out. But again, I've done tutorials where I've done that, and I will link them below. But just to make this a quick video, I'm just going to use my Happy Planner punch, and so we only want 7 of these punches, so I'm going to line it up, and if you can see, 2, 4, 6, 7, and we want to make it low enough so that we don't punch on that 8th one there at the top, and we might still get it, but I mean, that's okay, because we can always cut this down, but I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. And then, because it is a bit thick, it will take a little bit of strength and a lot of noise, but it will cut through. Now, I will caution you that if you are going to use yours, I was able to punch this one clearly. These, I actually did use the punch, but it does make a really funny noise, and eventually I think I'm going to break it. So just if you are going to use your punch, just do it with caution. Now, if you are going to laminate this, then again, a 3mm laminate would be fine. You wouldn't even need the legal size. The 8.5 by 11 works perfectly, because again, this is only at most 10 inches long. Even if with overhang, it would be like 11. So you can use the regular, just laminating letter size sheets, but if you are trying to do a DIY with just things you might have on hand, then again, this works perfectly fine. And if I get this one, just to show you, it does snap on rather nicely. Again, there's probably still a glare because of the plastic covering. And then again, the inside, you could even cover this with another paper, or you could just, again, make it nicer than I did for the tutorial purpose. And then the back side would be exactly the same. And then the last thing I'll show you is for the coloring page. It looks very expensive, and I think I got this for like $5 on Amazon. So yeah, and what I would recommend though is, as I'm going through this pages like this wouldn't work because I'm actually going to be cutting it in half. But something like this would. So I try to rip it as flush to the binding as I can, so that I get as much space as possible. I will cut it so that it's exactly 7 inches. And then I will cut 2 sheets that are, let me just double check. Yeah, so it's not 4 1/2. So it's not this one. And it's not 4 1/4, it's 4 and whatever that middle bit is right there. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 10/16, which is 5/8. So 4 5/8. I think that's how math works. Guys. All right, so we're going to cut that to 7 by 4 5/8. I think that's what that is. And I just get rid of these. And because I am doing multiples for eventual Etsy shop listings, I like that I can get 2 pages, although every single book, all of the sheets will be different, but some of the books might have the same sheets, if that makes sense. This one, because the paper is so thin, I can actually do up to 4 in here. And I find that this first mark right here is perfect whenever I'm doing anything for the mini, because if I line it up to there, I don't even have to look on the side, and I'll know that I won't punch the top there. And again, this would just, and I thought this was a good idea, and I actually had been thinking about doing something like this anyway, and then I saw the flip throughs. I'm like, oh, neat. So again, I will have some of these listed in my shop, and I'm hoping for by the 17th, but I'm not feeling well, so I don't know how productive I'm going to be. But this is my version of the Happy Planner Mini Journal that's available. And as always, guys, aloha.